Hello and welcome from QuaverMusic. My name is Corinne,
Hi, I'm Anna.
and today we're going to be going over assessments with QuaverMusic with you. So let's get started. On our agenda today, we're going to start by covering the assessments icon. Then we're going to take a look at Quiz Builder and Quiz Challenge. And finally, we'll take a look at some additional assessment tools within Quaver. So I'm going to go ahead and hop over here to our teacher dashboard. And you may notice that yours looks a little bit different than mine, and that's because I've spent some time customizing. So we're looking for this assessments icon, but if you're not seeing that, no worries. We're going to come up here to the blue Customize button, and we'll scroll down here on the left-hand side, and you want to make sure all the way at the bottom of these icons that you have a blue check mark next to your assessments icon. Once you have that there, you can move it by finding it on the right-hand side and dragging it exactly where you would like it. So I'm going to have mine at the top today so we can easily access it. Once we've got it where we like it, we'll hit save and exit, and we're ready to hop right into our assessments icon.
Awesome. And I love these assessments in the icon because they're ready to go for us. So we've
Yes.
got them, they're ready to go. There's no customization needed. So what you're going to see in here are some categories. So on the left-hand side, we've got all types of things. We've got curriculum quizzes. So these are the quizzes that if you're following along with the Quaver curriculum, you're going to see these at the end of modules. So we've just placed them all in one place for you. You can even go by grade level here and look for things. And then you're going to see different types of categories below: train the brain, ear training, all different types of things there. We're going to dive into a couple of these today, but I should mention one great thing about our assessments tool and all of our little icons on the dashboard is that they've got this little search at the top. So even if I wanted to search for something like dynamics and hit enter, I can see any of the assessments in here that have to do with dynamics.
Yes.
So,
and I love being able to do that because sometimes you're last minute looking for an assessment. So you can just come here and search by the topic.
exactly. So we're just going to show a couple of different things from some categories in here today, starting with ear training. So here we've got some hands-on tools for you that are going to help you assess essentially some ear training things with your students, some oral skills. And as you can see, a lot of these are very fun and interactive. These are some screens that were actually pulled from the curriculum.
Yes.
So we've got a lot of different things in here for you to look at. But at the top, we have 6 different little game activities. Yes, I love these. These are Ear IQ, and these are really fun. If you talk about assessment, sometimes it can be a scary word, but remember, you can always gamify assessment and make it fun for your students. So we're going to click into Patterns Game. This is one of them that's going to help us assess. I say ta, TT.
And I say ta, toddy.
So
but it's okay. We're still working on the same things.
you can use your own rhythm counting system with this game. That's what I love about it. So we have some options on the right-hand side of some rhythms that we're listening for. So maybe I would have my students pat these ahead of time to see what they would sound like. Just, as a little prepare for the activity. So then we can actually hit the play button on our little friend over here, and he's going to play one of these. So let's listen.
Ooh.
Did you catch which one that was?
I think that was the top one because I only heard one sound per beat on those first 2 beats.
Okay, let's try that. Nice. So notice at the bottom, we've got level 1, but we can click that arrow and it's going to actually add more options for our students. These are all still dealing with quarter note, eighth notes, and quarter rest, but we've just added a few more options for that scaffolding for students.
Yes, you always like to start at level 1 and give them that challenge to build up to. So
exactly.
Definitely.
You've also got the game mode at the bottom of this, which is really great because then we can actually have a timer on and see how many we can get right within a certain time frame. So it just adds a little bit more
oomph to it.
Yeah, it really does. It just adds some more excitement, makes it more of a game, and we can go in and see what our students are learning there.
Absolutely.
And one thing about this is if you ever open up a screen and you're like, I'm not really sure how to use it, we do have a menu button at the bottom left. So you can go in and click notes, and that's going to give you the exact notes of how the screen operates and what all the buttons do on that screen.
So you never have to worry.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Thank you, Anna. I'm going to hop back over into assessments. And now I'm going to go into the train the brain category.
Ooh, I love these.
What I love about these is for each topic or skill, you have two different options. So you see a vocabulary with the written words, and then also some picture options as well. And so again, can modify it for what your students need. So whether your younger students are working on tempo and you want to use some pictures, or you want to cover those same topics with your older students. So I'm going to come down here to the tempo ones, and we're going to click on the vocabulary version first. And what we're going to see here in the middle is our little brain that we're training. And we're just dragging the vocabulary words and then and its matching definition. So I'm going to drag tempo. Anna, can you help me?
Ooh, the speed at which music is played.
I think so, but let's check it. That was it. And we have those wonderful sound effects that the students just absolutely love too. So let's just do them a couple more together. We got Largo is slow, and we'll just keep on going.
Ooh, so good.
And you can see our brain is going now to its fullest potential, and we can even keep on going. We see this blue arrow here in the middle. There's even more to explore with tempo here. And so just like in the ear training, we also have a game mode here where you have 45 seconds to get all of it done, or as many as you can in that time. So it can kind of be a race with yourself or with classes.
Yeah,
sometimes I would tell my classes and be like, hey, so-and-so's class got this done in 20 seconds. Do you think you could get it faster? Just such a fun activity for the students. All right, so that's the vocabulary version, but now let's take a look at the picture version. So very similar, but the only difference is now we're gonna listen by hitting play and then dragging the correct picture that matches. Look, our brain is a little sad. Oh, we're about to help him.
What could help me keep a steady beat?
What could help me keep a steady beat?
Ooh, there's a couple here.
There is.
I'm gonna say the metronome, though.
I think the metronome too.
Boom, chicka brain.
Awesome.
Nice.
I love that. So again, we're just hitting play.
I need something that's prestissimo, very fast.
Very fast. I think that's a race car.
Great job.
And what I love about this one in particular was with my younger students, I was always looking for opportunities to provide centers for them.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the times I would come over here to the menu and have this QR code printed out for my students so that they could use the device at their center to scan this and then participate with their classmates all right there.
I love that. The QR codes make it so easy too, because you don't have to be logged into an account. So if you click that menu and link, anyone can open up those QR codes.
We know that can be a little tricky sometimes for the little ones to log in. So love that option for them. All right. Well, that was just a little bit of Train the Brain. And of course, you see there are so many more options in here. So make sure you get into the assessments icons and check all of these pre-made assessments that are ready to go for you and your students. So now we'll keep on moving through our agenda, and we're going to check out Quiz Builder and Quiz Challenge.
Yeah, so we looked at some assessments that are ready to go in Quaver for you. You can search, you can find things, but you might have some things that you want to customize and create. So that's what we're going to spend kind of the next half of this on, is looking at how we can create our own assessment tools. So we're going to spend a lot of time in this resource creation button. If you haven't been in here before, this is a great place to go to really customize Quaver to meet your needs. And we're going to just look at some specific ones, starting with Quiz Challenge. This is a really fun activity because in Quiz Challenge, you can actually play like a Jeopardy style game with your students. So I would recommend this as a whole class activity. This is a really great one for that. And you can customize it. So we've got some categories. I don't know, what could be our categories that we're assessing?
Maybe we're wanting to do like a just big review day with our students.
Okay.
So what if we did instrument families? We could also maybe have a dynamics category, maybe some rhythm vocabulary.
Yes.
And what's great is maybe we wanted to stop there. We didn't want to overwhelm our students. So we can always get rid of categories. So if we only wanted 3, if I just hit these red X's, now we don't have to worry about those other ones.
Lovely. We could also do the same thing. So if you didn't have 5 questions for these and you wanted maybe 3 questions per category, you can take off a couple of rows there as well and add on. Totally customizable for you there. There's a lot of different settings in here that you can play with. The timer, the points multiplier, maybe 10 points doesn't sound that exciting. Maybe 100 points sounds more exciting.
Oh yeah.
If you do maybe school-wide incentives too, like my school did house points. So that would be a fun thing to do with split into your houses or whatever you can do to just make it more engaging with students. So we've got the main gist of it, but you can go in and edit those questions. So instrument families, you could put all different types of things, put an answer, true
or
false.
And then of course we have to select the correct answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we could add an image if we wanted.
So for instance, the question might be, this is a member of the brass family, true or false?
Yes.
And we've got a tuba, a picture of a tuba.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Super simple. And then you just hit save when you're ready. But we're not going to save this question because we actually already have a pre-made quiz challenge built for you so you can see what it looks like once it's already done. So I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel here. But remember, if you were wanting to, make sure you hit that save button. And I'm going to come down here in the bottom right-hand corner of our resource creation pop-up and hit my custom screens. That is going to open my resource manager folder where everything that I make in resource creation from the dashboard is automatically going to live here. So I'll scroll through and I have made a quiz challenge on performing rhythms. And of course, as I said, I was a toddy person, so that's what I have it titled as. But when we launch it, we've got that Jeopardy style game ready to go. So we have 2 teams. I could come in here to options and I could even on the back end, once I've already created, add more teams if I wanted or name those teams, which is always a fun task for the students.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm also going to go ahead and turn off our background music for today. And I could adjust that timer as well, but I'll hit save and we'll let Anna be team 1.
Ooh, okay.
And Anna, so you can choose your category and how many points.
I'm going to do toddy for 300.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Okay.
All right, here she goes. Now, I'm going to hit pause on the timer, give you a little bit of think time.
I love that option.
Yes.
Because sometimes it helps to just hit pause, let students work together, and then come back to it. Okay.
Yes. Now, so your job is to perform this rhythm pattern, and I'm simply assessing, are you performing correctly or not performing it correctly?
Ooh, okay. And just for your sake, Corinna, I'm going to try tossing toddies instead of TT today.
Okay.
I'm feeling brave. Okay. Here I go. Toddy, ta, ta, ta.
Absolutely.
Okay,
you
perfect.
performed that correctly, even using those syllables you weren't used to. Nice job. So I hit that she got that right. I'll exit out and we see those points for her team automatically appear.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do one more for my team. And of course, I'll do 300 and I'm going to do ta rest. So I'll go here to pause. Ooh, I've got a rest.
That one
first.
starts with a rest. Okay.
Okay. Here I go. Here I go. Ta, ta, ta.
Nice.
Thank you.
I like your visual for the rest as well.
Oh, thanks. One thing I love about this is getting the other teams involved in assessing as well. So that way they have a task when it's not their team's turn.
Ooh, so they're listening, they're assessing,
they're evaluating as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just a quick look at what a quiz challenge could look like. So now we're going to hop right out of here and go back to resource creation. But I got to get out of resource manager. So resource creation. And now, Anna, what are we going to show them?
So we looked at quiz challenge, which is more of like a Jeopardy gamified style. Now we're going to look at a little bit more traditional type quiz with quiz builder. Okay, so quiz builder is essentially what it sounds like, a place that you can come in and build quizzes for your students and build assessments. So for instance, we might give it a title, and just for now, I'll put test. But we can type our own questions. So What rhythm do you hear? Maybe, you know, and we can actually add sound bits and media to these. I love these because you can really add in a lot here
Yes.
to your questions. Or maybe you don't want to type out and figure out all your questions, which is fine because we have a quiz bank ready to go. So if you click on search quiz bank, oh, sorry, we didn't type in a keyword. We've got to do that first. So we got all the questions now. That's 2,508 questions.
Whoa.
That's a lot. So let's narrow it down. What should we create a quiz on or search the quiz bank for?
What if we do instrument families?
Okay.
That's on my brain right now.
Perfect. Let's try it out. Search quiz bank.
Oh, sorry. There we go. Search quiz
We
bank.
got to type it in one more time.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, no,
I did
it's
it.
there. It's there. It's there. Haha. Okay, perfect.
Alright.
So we have 387 different questions. that we can choose
Yes.
from. Still quite a bit. So one thing that we could do with this is we could auto build a quiz, and that would essentially just take a random selection of all of those questions and put them into a quiz. So maybe we want 5. We can do that.
Love
You can
that.
do it that way. Ooh, some great questions
These
in
are
here.
some good questions.
So, or if you don't like some of them, you can always take that one out. Maybe we're not worried about the opera thing. We haven't talked about that yet, but we could go in and pull over a question that we see on the left-hand side and just drag and drop it into our quiz. Boom.
So easy.
Absolutely. So easy. You can combine questions we have with questions you want to write. Totally up to you. You can change still the
Yes.
answers, the wording, anything like that in there. And all you have to do when you're ready to use it is hit save.
I'm going to wait on that.
Because you already have one.
I
baby.
do.
Okay.
I do already have one. But again, don't forget about that save button.
Mhm.
So I'm going to exit out of this. And I'm going to go back to that custom screens button to pull up that folder in my resource manager. And I'm going to pull up a quiz builder that I made on the Nutcracker.
Ooh, I love that.
In the wintertime, I was always doing the Nutcracker with my students, but I needed something to keep them accountable as we were learning about it. So what I love is I created this, but I can still have a handwritten version of it. So if I come up, once I open it and I come up here to menu, if I hit print quiz, that's going to allow me to have a ready to go printed option for my students to follow along with in class. And I could even come up here to where it says show correct answers. Click that and I can print out an answer key for myself too. So just love that that's ready to go. I don't have to spend the extra time formatting a quiz for my students.
Absolutely.
But when we're ready, we just hit start. And if you are familiar with our curriculum quizzes, this probably looks very familiar to you.
Same format. Absolutely.
Yes. So of course we have the question, who is the composer of the Nutcracker Suite? Anna?
That one would be C. Tchaikovsky.
That's right. Awesome. And we got that little celebration there. And then we can just keep going through the quiz with our students. What is the name of the Russian dance featured?
Here's a question. What happens when you click the wrong answer?
Oh, let's find out.
So let's try In the Hall of the Mountain King. I know that's not it.
Oh,
Okay. So it gives us a chance to try again.
I love that it lets us try again. And that opens up some great opportunity for discussion, maybe to kind of understand why did your students think it was that instead of the correct answer. So you could really get some good, valuable feedback from your students in this case. Love that. But yeah, you just keep working on through it until you get to the end, then you're ready to go. All right. So that's just our quiz builder really quickly. So now we're going to talk about some additional assessment tools.
Yes.
So I'm going to come back to resource creation one more time. And of course, there are so many things here. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to go back into my custom screens folder, and I'm going to give you some examples of Melody Composer, our rubric builder, and then student recording as well. So that way you just got some solid examples, but we're not going to go through making them right now. All right, so I'm going to come to my custom screens. It's going to open up that folder in my resource manager. Love that. And let's take a look at the Melody Composer.
This is a great tool. I love this tool.
I love this one too. So here what I've done is I created this to be a B section for the song Great Big House in New Orleans. And I've just input the rhythm for our B section at the top. And then down here below, I have my solfege bank for students to then drag what pitches they would like. But Anna shared something really cool with me that she did with Melody Composer that I wish I had known about to do with my students.
Absolutely, yeah. So it definitely is a tool for composition like this. You can get your students composing and give them some guidelines, or you could also use it as a melodic dictation tool. So one thing that I often did, for instance, maybe we are working on mi, re, and do. I might have the rhythm for hot cross buns at the bottom, and I'll say, okay, you start with this pitch, but figure the rest out yourself. And then that way I can assess how well students are hearing the solfege within a song.
I love that idea. Again, wish I had known about that.
Yeah, and this tool really takes a lot of that creation piece off the teacher. I don't have to make my own whole drag and drop situation.
Yes.
It's ready to go for me.
Yes. And something I want to note is once your students are done with this, they can hear it back in real time. And obviously we didn't finish it out,
Right.
but it would keep going. And then here at the bottom right-hand corner, there is that submit button that we're going to touch on, that if you were to assign this through student accounts, then students would be able to submit it back to you for a grade. But again, we'll talk about student accounts a little bit after we go over some other assessment options. All right. So now that we looked at that, let's take a look at a rubric that I built for playing recorder. So we open this up here, and you can go in and make however many categories you want, or a lot of times I assess my students on an advanced, proficient, or basic scale. So that was something that met my needs and my school's needs as well. And then of course we have correct fingerings and tones. And what's cool is you could even come up here and say, okay, students, I'm looking for this right now only. And we could highlight that as our focus. Or students can come up here and assess themselves as well.
That's what I love about it, is really you've got that rubric you can create. Students can go in and say, oh, here's how I'm doing.
And don't forget, you could come up here to the menu and print this rubric out for students. I like to do this for small group works with Recorder because sometimes that can be a little chaotic in the classroom. But if the students had this in front of them, it was something for them to work for with a partner.
Absolutely. And another thought is, maybe get your students creating their own rubric when we're like, hey, what are we looking for with Recorder? That way students have that engagement in what we're looking for.
And then they know exactly what they need to be doing.
Yeah.
What a great idea. All right. So now that we're kind of talking about Recorder, let's look at one more option from resource creation, the student recording option. So this is going to be an option if you're assigning through student accounts, but I'll launch this for us. And you'll see that we have asked students to submit a video of the Recorder song, Ba Ba Ooh La La. Now, what's great here is they can just go in right here, hit record, and they're ready to submit then after that. However, you may be wondering, how would my students play Recorder without the piece to follow along with? So what's great is you can always add video instructions. So if I go over here into the menu, that video button is highlighted because when I was building this, I spent some time adding video instructions. And so I added a screen recording of the song for them to follow along with. So I'll just hit play on that really quickly so you can see. And so on.
Nice. I love that idea because this video function can also be used for like a teacher to come in and talk to the students about what they're going to do. But I love the idea of having the sheet music up for them as well.
Yes, absolutely. So just a great option for getting the students' performance in your hands and ears without having to spend your entire class period listening to individual students, right?
This is such an important thing. And I've used the student recorder for like students to come in and clap a rhythm they composed or something like that too. So
love that.
Lots of different ways to use this tool.
So we mentioned the submittable button, but again, that is only going to be available if you are utilizing student accounts. So let's talk about student accounts for a moment. I'm going to exit out of here and we're going to come back to our teacher dashboard. And Anna, can you tell them a little bit about that?
Yeah, so if you're newer to Quaver or haven't really gotten into the student admin section, we really do have a whole nother level you can go within the platform of assigning things to students, having them log into their own accounts, going in and submitting assignments to you that way. I mean, it's really great and very helpful. It captures grades for you. So a lot of great tools here. We don't have a ton of time to go into everything today, but I do want to show you a tool that you can use, and that is our help center. So if you're
Absolutely.
interested, yeah, in like the quiz builder and things like that, and actually pushing that out to students,
Yes.
use student admin. So go in here, help center, and we're going to click teachers because we're a teacher. And on the student admin, you can see we have a lot of different topics. We've got a lot of different mini trainings for you. So going in, creating and distributing assignments. How might I do that? And we're going to walk you through screen recordings here of exactly how to create an assignment, drop something like that instrument families quiz in, get it out to your students, and then they can submit it to you.
Yes.
And the grade's already there. So,
And I love that this is all asynchronous, especially with these videos. So you can pause it as you go and make sure you're really, getting the idea of it all.
absolutely.
All right. Well, that was a lot in a little bit of time.
It was.
But I hope you all got some ideas for assessments in your classroom. So without further ado, we'll kind of wrap
Yeah.
things up. Anna, do you want to tell them about our testing
Yeah,
toolkit?
so I know right now as this is being released, it is testing time. So we have a toolkit for you if you would like to use this. This is just kind of a compilation of some different resources that teachers at your school, yourself, classroom teachers, other teachers might use during testing to support mindfulness and just getting students ready for the testing
Yes.
season.
And what's great is I don't believe you have to have your account to access these.
That's correct. So you could share this with classroom teachers, your school counselor, and things like that.
Yes, love that. And then, of course, some exciting news. QuaverCon 2024 is coming up
It's
July
happening.
16th through 17th. You can scan this QR code to register today. Free PD from the comfort of your own home.
Yes, wear your pajama pants and
Yes.
come to QuaverCon. We hope to see you there. And a lot of more topics will be covered. So if you're wanting to like dive into student admin and really get to know some more parts of the curriculum, we'll definitely have some resources for you.
Absolutely. We hope to see you there. All right. Now, without further ado, if you need more support, check out that help center that we went over. It can be your best friend, truly. And then if you're a part of Facebook, you could join our QuaverMusic Teachers Facebook group. It's a great place to go to collaborate and just get ideas from other music educators. And of course, our customer service, phone number and email right there. They are always happy to help and quick to help too.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you all for joining.
Thank you all so much.